Parents, this is exactly how one of my students, Rena, increased her SAT score from a 1200 to a 1350 in less than 10 weeks. For those of you guys that don't know me yet, my name is Jared Wynn. I'm the founder and director of Geometry Guru's SAT Prep, and at this point in my career, I've helped hundreds of students increase their SAT scores so that they can go to their dream colleges or qualify for scholarships. With that being said, let's get straight into it. A little bit more about Rena. She was based out of Florida, and she needed at least a 1330 to qualify for the Bright Future Scholarship. And she was just like your teen, and she was just like most of the teens that I work with right now. It kind of feels like I'm always making the same type of video because all these problems, all these students share. She was doing Khan Academy, she was doing YouTube, she had a private tutor, she was also, bouncing around from program to program, but nothing was really working for her. Whether it's self-paced or with a person, it's just like she was kind of stuck at that 1200 no matter how much she tried. She was there for around, 6 or 7 months before she really saw any real score improvements. And she came to me, she's like, Jared, right? It's like, I'm still so stuck. I don't know exactly what I need to study, and she just didn't have a roadmap in front of her because, she was actually originally from South Africa. So they didn't teach it like how America teaches it. So she was just like, I don't know where to start, right? It's like there's so many concepts that are tested on the SAT, and even that, it's kind of different from school as well. So she didn't really know what direction to go in. So what we did with her are the same 3 steps I'm going to show you in this video. Step number 1 is what we call here the efficiency index. So remember earlier, she was telling me, hey, Jared, I don't know exactly where to start. I don't know what I don't know. So what we had to do with her was that we needed to do a comprehensive diagnostic on her so that we can see exactly which of the 64 SAT concepts does she actually need the most help on. Not just like, hey, what was she getting wrong, but why was she getting it wrong? Because reality is this, there's only 3 reasons why you would ever get something incorrect on the exam. Number 1, you just don't know it, you never learned it, or maybe you forgot it. That one's pretty straightforward. With her, that was a lot. Number 2 is she actually knew how to do it, but she didn't know how to do it in 30 seconds, so she was running out of time. Third one was fatigue. Like she spent so much time on the beginning portion of the exam that by the time she got to the end part of the exam, she was completely fried, right? She was making silly mistakes, even if she knew how to do it without that timer on it. The problem is that anybody can just be like, okay, hey, Rena, you got this problem wrong, do 10,000 problems that look like that. Reality, that's not really diagnosing, family, because there's so many different reasons as to why you would get something wrong. If you just blindly do the things you got wrong, then you might be doing things that you probably don't even need to work on. Let me give you an example to really kind of drive this home. Let's say, for example, right, you got a problem wrong at the end of the module. But the only reason why you got that problem wrong at the end of the module is because you spent 5 minutes on a problem earlier in the module that you ended up getting right. So it's like, yeah, you got it wrong, but it's because you only had 10 seconds to do that problem. You were rushing, right? Even if you know how to do that problem, you just didn't have enough time to do it. So would it make sense to work on that problem, over and over and over again? No, because you actually already understand how to do it. You just didn't know how to do it in the constraints of the test. What really was the issue was that problem that you got correct that took you 5 minutes to do. A lot of students, they look at the stuff they got right and they're just like, I don't need to work on that. Well, that's an illusion because, if you spent 5 minutes on a problem, yeah, you better work on that because that's affecting your ability to do the problems at the end. So once we understand exactly, what it is that she needed to work on, now we can move on to step number 2. Step number 2 is what we call here the pressure protocol. And this is why step number 1 is so important because if you don't do step number 1 properly, then you're just gonna blow your entire prep out of the water working on the wrong things, right? So once we understood exactly which of the concepts she needed help on, now we gave her real SAT problems that mimicked the same types of problems that she was missing, at that time, except we made sure that everything that she was doing was timed and we made sure that they were slightly harder than the real SAT. Because her problem was even with the stuff that she actually was struggling with, she was just kind of like hovering around this plateau of 1200. Like there were some things before this that she was targeting pretty well. Like she knew that she needed to work on it. But for example, she was, level 2. She needed to, slowly get to that level 3. So a lot of students, what they do is they're fine staying in that comfort zone. You got to slowly ramp them up to that level 3 to break through that plateau. Okay. So that's why it's so important, because yes, you need to understand the concepts. Yes, you need to understand the strategy and the techniques, and that's what we taught her as well. But she needed to be able to do those problems in a test-like environment that was slightly harder than the real thing. So by the time she saw the real thing, she was just like, okay, yeah, done this a million times. It felt like nothing to her, because again, she was during the prep always pushing past her comfort zone. A lot of students, they practice on their own and they spend a lot of hours practicing, but it's too easy for them. Or it's just like, it's not enough in terms of difficulty to get her to that next level. It's like if you went to the weight room and you never put extra weight on the bar, you use the same weight on that bar forever. You're never gonna get bigger, you're never gonna get stronger. So that's exactly what we needed to do with her. Okay, it was not a consistency issue we had with her. It was not a effort issue. It was a seriously just, hey, she didn't know what she needed to work on, so we needed to find that out for her. And she also did not know how to properly structure her practice in a way that will actually improve her score, which is why step number 2 is so important. Step 3 is what we call here the test simulation. So once we do step 1, once we do step 2, with her, we needed to work with tests that are slightly harder than the real SAT. Because what she was doing, she was using the Blue Book exams. And the Blue Book exams, before she took her test, she was scoring like, she was scoring 1350, 1400 on those, right? But then she never scored that on the real thing. Like I said, she was scoring around 1200. And that's because those Blue Book exams and every other exams that most, the traditional test prep places use, it's just way too easy in comparison to the real thing. It doesn't make sense to work on them, okay? It's like, hey, how many times do you do dress rehearsal before you go put on a play? A million times, right? You got to do it as if the audience is there. And if you don't do that, then by the time you see it, then you're going to be very nervous. So that's why we needed to do step number 3. It's not enough just to do step 1, step 2, step 3 one time. The good thing with Rena was that she did it every single week. She never missed a week. If you take a look at her chart, you can see exactly why she got the results that she was getting. Because she went to every single class we had. She went to every single office hour we had. She went to every one-on-one with intent. And she was also doing consistently 200 to 250 problems every single week and never missed a diagnostic exam. It's like students who are that consistent, students who are that present with their work, very rarely do badly on the exam. Okay, it's only the students who are kind of like half foot in, half foot out with the process. Only those students get subpar results. So family, that's Rena's story, okay? So she is currently still working here and she wants to break past that 1400 barrier. I'm very confident she can do it now, right? Because with her super score actually now is even higher, right? It's 1370, right? Her best score that she ever did in one sitting is 1350. Her super score is 1370. So we can definitely get her past that 1400 barrier. Hopefully this video was helpful. If you guys need help applying this to your team's unique situation, go ahead and send me an email. Go ahead and send me a DM. I'd be more than happy to help you guys out. Until then, have a great rest of your day. I'll see you guys in the next video.